Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. I'm your digital host, Tatyana White, and welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including fires that are spreading across North Alabama as we're under a red flag warning. So far, we just heard about two fires in the Lawrence County area and also the one on Thursday as well. But right now, we are under that red flag warning throughout North Alabama, which is just where the weather conditions are right for fires to spread. And then the latest on rising utility bills, housing market impacts due to the ongoing war in Iran, the latest with the partial government shutdown, more on a tuberculosis case at a Huntsville school, celebrating Women's History Month with a Huntsville woman entrepreneur, weekend events, and so much more. And so I hope you all are having a great weekend so far. I missed you all last weekend, but I enjoyed some much needed time off with some family down in Florida. And it was a little rough getting there, as you guys remember last Sunday. It was all those different storms, and it was sunshine and then storms, snow, all in the span of 24 hours. So a little rough getting there, but got there, was able to get on a flight after missing one flight got canceled, another one got delayed. So, but nevertheless, still got there, enjoyed time with family, and I was very excited to be on the beach again. I know there's not really many beaches near North Alabama, but I also got to see a really cool event kind of tied to Alabama. There was a Walk Hard event because me and my family, we visited Panama City Beach, and there's like this fraternity at Troy University down in Troy, Alabama, and those fraternity brothers every year they walk all the way from Troy, Alabama to Panama City Beach to raise money for wounded veterans. And so if you guys don't realize, that's like a 128.3-mile walk. So it was so like great to see that in person. I didn't know that that was happening. I didn't know that was a thing. And so it was really cool to see that Alabama Florida ties situation. But yeah, they walked the whole 128.3-mile walk, and we got to see them cross that finish line and run onto the beach and all that. So it was absolutely amazing. But let's get into this weekend's recap. So today, again, is a 48 first alert weather day due to those gusty winds and the high fire danger due to those weather conditions. And so, again, many counties in North Alabama have been under a red flag watch or warning for the past few days, which again means that it's critical fire weather conditions expected outside right now. And so we've already seen two fires again happening in the Lawrence County area this morning, and on Thursday, a massive brush fire broke out at Bankhead National Forest. And after burning for about 24 hours and chewing through an estimated 300 acres of land, the fire is finally out there. We also just got word that a big brush fire that was happening in the Lawrence County area this morning also just got out after about 5 hours. And so crews with the Alabama Forestry Commission, they rushed out to Lawrence County to contain the fire that was at Bankhead earlier this week, and the cause of the fire is still unknown at this time. And officials, they just are continuing to warn against burning due to the current dry and windy conditions today. And they say the low humidity and dry vegetation are key components to cause fires to burn faster. And so that's why officials are urging you to avoid starting any fires for the time being.
Please don't. Yeah, it'll be difficult to control. It'll be difficult to suppress. Think of your safety, the safety of your neighbors, and the safety of the first responders that have to come out.
And so he also recommends that if you plan to grill or use a fire pit this weekend, to do so with extreme caution. And so just continue to use caution throughout the time. We're under that red flag warning. And of course, our wonderful meteorologist here will keep you all updated as those weather and fire conditions continue to change throughout the weekend and throughout next week as well.
We're a municipal
And
utility.
as
We
you
are
all,
only here to serve Huntsville,
let me
Madison
go
County.
back to this other one. Okay. Yeah, but as you all know, utility bills were high this year, and officials with Huntsville Utilities, they addressed the public at Thursday night's city council meeting, outlining why bills have been higher for some in the past few months. I know many people around North Alabama have talked about how they saw their utility bill be a lot higher, kind of skyrocket more to a price that's higher than they're used to. And so so Huntsville Utility CEO Wes Kelly called these expensive bills a gut punch to customers. So he gave a more lengthy presentation on why everyone is paying so much. And Kelly attributed a lot of the higher costs to the cold stretch we saw this winter, where we had those sub-freezing temperatures, and they were consistent for more than 30 days. And so that going from turning on the heat when it's getting cold, and then we have like those little moments where it gets up to the 70s, so we're maybe turning on the AC. So he presented a little bit of why that could be impacting your utility bills. And he also pointed out that 10% of their customers had to pay past balances as well that were not enforced because of a 6-month suspension of penalties. In some homes, they saw their bills skyrocket because of that, and also because of water leaks and pipe issues as well. And so while bills were noticeably higher this year, Kelly used data to show that rates, which haven't changed since 2024, are lower than most other major cities right now.
We're a municipal utility. We are only here to serve Huntsville, Madison County. It's absolutely critical that we have the trust of the customers we serve. And we need to provide the information and provide the services necessary so that people feel well served by their utility.
And many utility customers were prepared to speak at that meeting, but most did not get a chance to because of time constraints, and most of them were directed to speak to a customer service representative afterward to get the answers that they were looking for. And also, local realtors say the war in Iran is affecting home buyers here in the Valley. And so one Huntsville realtor told 48 News that right now the interest rates are high and they don't see them coming down until the war ends. With interest rates sitting at or near 6%, it is making buying a home look scary for almost everyone. Cameron Kunke spoke with us, and she is the bookkeeper at Legend Reality and a realtor. And she said with both the high interest rates and the constantly rising cost of living, that many buyers are having to negotiate more and get less out of a new home. However, she told us she believes rates will drop after the war in Iran is over. So if you do buy a home today and during this time, there is always an option to refinance in the future.
It is high right now, so we're hoping that eventually it will go back down and can be more reasonable, especially for younger people who are looking to like start their lives and start buying houses and all that kind of stuff.
And the U.S. Senate has reached an agreement to fund the Department of Homeland Security. And this agreement would help fund TSA, but not ICE and Border Patrol. And so the Senate has been in stalemate for over a month now as the partial government shutdown reached 40 days. And just before 1:30 on Friday morning, the Senate unanimously agreed to fund TSA agents. And this comes after President Trump said he would sign an order to immediately pay TSA agents. And on Thursday, we pressed our representatives for answers on why this stalemate lasted as long as it did. And finally, they reached that unanimous decision Friday morning, but it still came with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle blaming each other for the delay.
If Democrats had made the smallest effort to actually reach an agreement. But they didn't. Because it's now clear to everyone, Democrats didn't actually want a solution. They wanted an issue. Politics over policy.
This long overdue agreement funds TSA, the Coast Guard, FEMA, CISA, strengthens security at the border and at ports of entry, and keeps Americans safe. This could have been accomplished weeks ago if Republicans hadn't stood in the way.
House Republicans were upset the bill did not fund ICE and Border Patrol, leaving a stalemate heading into the weekend. And White House officials say the money to pay TSA employees will come from the big, beautiful bill, and the shutdown will now head into its 42nd day, expected to surpass the record set in November. And now to a 48 safety alert. So leaders at Grissom High School are warning parents about a student who tested positive for tuberculosis over spring break. They said the student has not returned to school since they tested positive, but the school is still taking precautions, and they are preparing to test anyone who might have come into contact with the student. A local pediatrician says TB is more common in underdeveloped countries and usually affects the lungs. Symptoms include coughing, long-lasting fever, and weight loss. loss. She says a normal, healthy teen will recover fine if treated properly, but those with medical issues might struggle.
You have to take different antibiotics, more than one, and it is a good few months to be on it. So that's why it's important that, I mean, I know I can forget to take medicine, and so other people, I mean, can as well. And that's why it's important to have that partnership with the Department of Public Health.
Students identified as potential contacts to that student that did have TB can opt in for a screening by the Alabama Department of Public Health on April 2nd. And now to a 48 News update from last weekend where a 6-year-old accidentally shot his 13-year-old brother. So we learned this week that the 2 children in the incident were the sons of an Alabama lawmaker. State Representative Ernie Yarbrough's 6-year-old son got a hold of a rifle, fired, and hit his 13-year-old brother in the shoulder last weekend. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Deputies from the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office said the gun was found unlocked in a gun case. That's why officials say it's important to keep guns locked up when not in use.
We don't want these guns getting in the hands of the people that don't need them, or curious kids. You know, kids are curious and have a firearm laying around the house or something, and we don't need any kind of accidental discharge or somebody getting, you know, unnecessarily hurt by mishandling a firearm.
This situation will be turned over to the DA's office to determine if charges will be filed, and Madison Police run a free gun lock program to help keep guns stored safely. And a couple in Decatur wants help getting back $22,000 worth of jewelry and valuables they say were stolen by a moving company. 2 people have been arrested in the case, but there are still no signs of the stolen property. 48's investigative reporter Nick Ballinger shares more on this story.
It's Melissa Cook's passion.
I've always loved baking, always, since I was little.
She's owned Mel's Sweet Treats in Decatur for over 2 decades. In September, she decided it was time for her family to move closer to the bakery. But as always,
Strawberry banana chocolate, please.
running a small business was a tall task.
So we decided to hire a company to move us and box everything up. I trusted 100%, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have.
They quickly realized their movers might have had sticky fingers.
My husband originally thought things were missing. I thought, no, we've just misplaced it. So I took a week off from work, and we concentrated really hard to unpack everything, and we found the empty jewelry box.
Wedding rings, pearls, family heirlooms, even their son's glasses, everything they cared about was missing from the box. They say $22,000 worth of valuables were stolen.
It's an awful feeling, you know. My heart sank, and
Cook called the owner of the moving company, Packmasters, for help.
it did not go well. He said he had insurance, which they didn't have. He told me not to call the police, that he would handle it on his own.
I wanted to go to Packmaster's office so I could speak to the owner about what happened. Their website said that they had a Huntsville address, so I typed it in, and it brought me here to Target with no Packmaster's office around. So I called.
Record your message at the tone.
And called again.
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message.
And again.
Thank you for calling. Please
But no answer. Packmasters is also not listed on the BBB website. Director Karen Reeves says situations like these with moving companies are very common.
Actually happens quite a bit. This is one of the largest categories that BBB receives complaints. We get several thousand complaints nationwide.
Eventually, Sherry Simpson, an employee at Packmasters, went to Decatur police. According to court documents, she'd told police about her scheme with Kurtrell Pointer to steal the jewelry and sell them for profit, and the pair were arrested in October. I'm told there's even surveillance footage of her at a pawn shop in Moulton right after the move, but there's still one problem.
You know, they said they needed probable cause to get a search warrant, and I felt like that was probable cause.
They say there was never a search warrant issued for Pointer or Simpson, so 6 months later, their jewelry is still missing.
So for us, it was very frustrating just knowing where our stuff was, and we weren't doing anything about it.
Decatur police say the investigation has now been turned over to Lawrence County deputies, but there's no charges there and still no jewelry.
In a Lauderdale County, a doctor now has to pay a former patient $500,000, and it's for a different kind of malpractice. The jury found she placed a tracking device on her patient's car to steal money inside. She claimed she was owed. For 43 days back in 2021, Billy Hill rode around with a device tracking his every move. Not only was Hill Dr. Diane McCutcheon's patient, he was also a friend she hired as a contractor to remodel her home. McCutcheon claimed Hill owed her $10,000 for work not completed, and attorneys said she ordered a nurse to put the device on his car during a doctor's appointment. Hill says she knew he kept cash in his car and was tracking it to break in. Even though that break-in never happened, Hill still feels violated.
Yeah, it was definitely a different feeling. It makes your stomach turn, just thinking that somebody was following me for 43 days and me not knowing it. So it was a different feeling.
This is not the first time Dr. McCutcheon has made headlines. Back in 2013, she was sentenced to 1 year in federal prison for fraud after billing a health insurer for cosmetic treatments. And we had a very interesting, unusual story this week out of Lauderdale County. And it was a story of a pair of cows being on the move in Moulton after breaking free and took a stroll down Highway 157. They thought they could get away and play hooky, but their freedom did not last too long. Local cowboys arrived to get the situation under control. Pun intended, and a quick tranquilizer shot and some rope led the runaways back into the back of a trailer, making sure they don't make another run for it. To see the full tale, check it out on our website, WAFF.com. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at a Huntsville entrepreneur who we're celebrating this Women's History Month as she uses her brand to help women and families and to raise awareness on maternal health in the North Alabama community. We'll also look at some stories coming up in our evening newscast, and we'll check out some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. So stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Recap. For 48's digital series, This Month Matters, Dr. Ashley Hunt Poole joined me in honor of Women's History Month to talk about how she turned her personal experiences into advocacy and impact for mothers and families through her brand, Hello Mama, and nonprofit Mommy and Me, both focused on supporting mothers, families, and women's wellness. Ashley has a line of delicious, alcohol-free drinks and other products and programs that people can benefit from. And her latest journey was after her youngest child was born. She experienced postpartum preeclampsia, and it was a really bad experience for her. And after she went through this, she wanted to expand her brand to benefit women and create awareness on health. Take a listen to some advice she shares that she hopes people take away from her story.
So many things that kind of rush and hit me at once. I'm going to go back to you are stronger than you think. And I know we get told that as moms, like we just have to be strong, but you are stronger than you think. And it's okay to, one, ask for help. And that's for anyone. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take a step back and give yourself a mental break. And it's also okay to have a moment where you need to scream and cry. And if you need to have a dance it out moment, you turn on that music. You dance like nobody's watching, because you will have that release, and then you'll be ready to take over the world.
Yes. Absolutely. Sometimes you just have to dance it out, sing it out, whatever you have to do. But Ashley, she was amazing to have on the show. And if you want to support her for the first pre-eclampsia walk that she will be hosting, it will be held on May 16th in Huntsville. And she's also a vendor today at the Taste of Soul Family Festival that's happening right now at the Orion Amphitheater. And so you can buy her products there. You can buy them online at Sam's Club, Walmart, and any other time at the Orion as well. So go check her out if you can. She has a lot of amazing products, and she truly just supports and pours into the community with great resources. So check out more, and the full interview is available to watch on our website at WAFF.com. Now let's check out some stories you can look out for coming up in our evening newscast. 2 men are in the Colbert County Jail after a high-speed chase last night in Colbert County. Now the Tuscumbia police chief is confirming officers fired several shots at the suspects as they tried to get away. According to our media partners at the Times Daily, this happened around 11 p.m. last night at a convenience store near Highway 43 and Highway 72. We're told officers saw drugs in the car during a traffic stop, and the men inside slammed into the police cruiser, then sped off. Officers fired at least 2 shots and began a pursuit. Neither suspect was hit by gunfire, but the chase went more than 30 miles until the suspects crashed on Cedar Lane in Cherokee. Officers arrested Tarvarius Crawford at the scene of the crash, and Kevin Gamble was taken to a nearby hospital for his injuries from the wreck. Gamble was arrested after being treated and released. Both men are charged with drug trafficking, and more charges may be coming as well. And in Franklin County, the parents of a 1-year-old are behind bars, and the child is in the hospital with a serious injury. And so Xavier Johnson and Alicia Griffin are charged with willful abuse of a child after employees with DHR saw their 20-month-old child with a swollen leg. It was later discovered that that child's leg had been broken for 6 days and went untreated. Police officers said the employees with the Franklin County Department of Human Resources had been checking on the child and its twin because they didn't weigh enough, and they thought that they were not being fed enough. And so officers said the couple have 5 children, and they have all been removed from the home by DHR. So tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on these stories and many others. And there are a couple of great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. Of course, we have the Huntsville Havoc playing tonight against the Birmingham Bulls at 7 p.m. And the theme is Military Night, and the team will be wearing specialty jerseys that will be auctioned off to benefit veterans who are still serving. The first 5,000 fans also get a LED glow rod, and so tickets can be purchased at the BBC box office, Huntsville Havoc office, and online at Ticketmaster.com. In the annual, hold on, let me go back to that one. Yes. And so the annual Taste of Soul Festival is back today. And so it's a one-of-a-kind, one-day event to celebrate the heart and soul of Huntsville through music, food, and fun. And you can visit your favorite food trucks, local eateries, and food entrepreneurs, or try some new ones while listening to live music and shopping at some of Rocket City's favorite businesses. And so tickets include entry to enjoy those festivities, and tickets can be bought at the event for $25, and kids 12 years old and younger can attend for free. And it's just going to be a great event, good food. One of the vendors came onto TVL the other day. It's like a grit bowl type of food truck that came on TVL, and it was absolutely delicious. And I interviewed some of the hosts of the Taste of Soul last year, and they are amazing people. They work really hard to make it a great event. And so if you want to try just different foods, enjoy, the ambiance, the atmosphere, definitely go out tonight and check it out. And the annual Women's Expo returns this weekend. This expo was founded by Tiffany Draper, who is so amazing, so dedicated. I also had her on 48 Now, one of our digital series last year, and she just worked so hard to put together this expo, and it's always wonderful for the women in the community and for other people as well that want to support. So it is definitely a great event to check out. It's an all weekend long event, so if you didn't make it to the big expo event today, there's still more happening going on on tomorrow as well. That's a part of the expo. And the expo just highlights women from all walks of life. And Draper said that this will be one of the biggest years yet for the expo. The goal of the event series is just to give local women an experience that feeds every part of their mind, body, and soul. And so the expo will have everything from speaking engagements to panel discussions and classes covering a range of topics from professional to personal development. And there will also be, of course, many women-owned businesses that will have a chance to shine as they set up around the venue. And there's just a great time to connect with other people in the community at this expo. And so again, it's happening now throughout the weekend. So be sure to visit the Women's Expo, hsv.com, to learn more. And a fun play is in town. The Broadcast Theater League presents Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical. And you can check out this hysterical and heartfelt production tonight at 7:30 p.m. and tomorrow at 1 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. And tickets can be purchased at BroadwayTheaterLeague.org. And so if you've seen the movie, I'm sure you'll love the musical as well. So that seems like a really good play to go to if you can tonight or tomorrow. And these are just a few fun events that are happening this weekend. The weather is nice out, so it's a good time. Definitely compared to last weekend on Sunday, last week when it got really stormy and everything, or the week before that when it got really stormy and everything. So definitely go out, enjoy this weather, enjoy some great food, music, vibes, a musical, all types of different things to check out, and maybe even learn about a few new local businesses or vendors. And anytime throughout the week, if you are looking for a fun or good event to go to, you can always check out Huntsville.org's event tab, and we are Huntsville.com's event calendar. And there's also other websites like that for some of those surrounding cities as well in the Tennessee Valley. And they are always really great at updating their event calendars, and so you can see more events that are happening throughout the week. And that's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday in the morning and afternoon. Forecaster Jada Russell will join you all in a few for today's Weather Extra segments, including talking about our 48 First Alert Weather Day due to that fire weather watch that's in effect again. And so tune in for that so you can learn more. And again, our Weather Extra segments are just another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. So be sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channels so you don't miss any updates on the news and the weather, especially again on days like this for the 48 First Alert Weather Days. And if you would like to connect with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. I would love to connect with you, talk with you, story ideas, or if you just want to pop in and say hello, please feel free to reach out. Take care, everyone, and stay safe this weekend. I will see you all back here next Saturday, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. And again, go out, enjoy the nice weather, go get some good food at the Taste of Soul Festival, or just go out, enjoy nature today. But I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.